This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your news feed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's a Poorly Edited Podcast. I'm Chandler Davis. We're here in Josh Brennan's studio. We got the usual suspects here.
Pat, go first this time.
Wow, that's weird.
My name's Patrick Lilly.
My name's Coffee Guy.
A very special guest, future rock star.
Future rock
What's your
star.
name though?
Chris.
Alright.
I'm Chris. Yo soy Chris.
Are you from The Doors?
No.
Yeah, so we
We
did
had
a
someone,
thing.
yeah, so we had someone that said you look like the lead singer from The Doors.
I had
today.
We
have it up right now,
It's
yeah.
funny you mentioned that
Uh-huh.
because I used to have my hair different than I do now. I had like short bangs.
Yeah,
and
like
long
Doors
hair.
style.
And I once a week someone would tell me I look like you.
Really?
Nice.
That's his
Now,
name.
do you think the
What
guy
was
all the way on the left
Yeah.
looks like Benedict Cumberbatch?
So we think that this guy looks a lot more like. Jeez. Oh God. Jeez.
Oh, that was Jackson
Here
Pollock.
we go again. We gotta go through like 5 different pages. So anyway, The Doors.
Can you bring my outline
Do you
up?
think he
Did
looks
you do
like a
that?
door?
I mean,
Alright,
this is sad.
so
the chance that he watches, I'm gonna say no.
Who's the real Chris?
you're Chris Carchedi.
Carchedi.
Nice.
You're Chris
We should do a.
You're Chris
a-
Carchedi,
Yeah, that's me.
and you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You're Airspace.
I'm in the band.
And what is
yes.
Airspace?
It's a rock and roll
You
band.
skipped my. You,
All right,
you
all
just
right.
skipped my outline.
What is it?
That doesn't come until segment 2.
Let's take it from the top. All right. So we've had a pretty interesting week. You unfortunately didn't get to come to Caddy's show on Saturday, did you?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Did no one
But,
invite me? Is that
But we went.
I didn't go. I wasn't there.
You know,
the unfortunate thing that no one invited me?
it was
Oh,
well.
that's awkward.
It was
That's
like
weird. That's
it was like on a need to know basis.
that's not true. I mean,
So you don't know? Have you ever met Caddy McAuliffe, the photographer
think
of the Lehigh Valley?
No, I have not.
Caddy McAuliffe of
Remember you guys talking about that shit?
Instagram fame.
And she's leaving
rebellious
Lehigh Valley.
motherfucker.
She's leaving the Lehigh Valley. She's going to Chicago. She had a benefit concert
to get a plane
for,
ticket home.
for Ligma.
yeah, that's not what happened.
Classic Caddy.
So she wants to come back during winter break, but she doesn't have any money. So
Yeah.
she was trying to raise some money. So she sort of pulled some strings because she knows everybody and a bunch of bands are
She had like a
there, and-
fire
That's a lot more
fire
fun than
hall
GoFundMe.
show. Yeah,
That's me.
GoFundMe sucks.
Yeah.
So
For everything.
for anything, if
Hear
you're
that GoFundMe, we're coming after
fuck
you.
you, GoFundMe. Shit.
Are we cursing?
That's fine.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to take down GoFundMe.
I don't think it works like
GoFundMe season 9. Let's pull this off.
Full plug.
Pull the plug on that one. It's a
I
conspiracy.
feel like it's out of our hands. We can't do anything.
Our integrity
So-
of GoFundMe.
You weren't there. I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
we met you at a different show.
We met you at Live at
weeks ago.
13
Yeah.
of Chris
I didn't-
Kennedy fame.
Yes.
And that
That
was
was amazing.
Is
lit.
that how that works?
We've
Yeah.
had almost every band that played at that show now. Now that you're on, and it's been lit. Everyone is so fun. That show is so fun. I mean, we can't say it enough. People have been hearing it for the last
I'm sure
four,
everybody's sick
4
of it
weeks.
because we don't stop talking
Like,
about how
fuck
cool it
Live
is.
at 13 already. But no, you put on a great performance. You were
Thank
one
you.
of the most different bands there.
Thank you.
Bit of a different style than a lot of the other bands that played. In a good
Different way.
In a good way, though. You know, it was a very. Your Airspace's style and sound is pretty unique, and I was
Thank you.
really surprised when I heard it. And you also told me the way we first met. I don't know if you remember.
I was just gonna bring it up. Like I met you, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you were setting up for your set, and then I was just standing there talking to Pat, and then you're like, "Can you hold my guitar?" And then I was like,
What?
I was like, "Yeah," and then like you plugged in your guitar to the amp or whatever.
I think I was
putting
I was
strap on.
tearing
Oh,
down.
you're putting
and
the
I was taking
strap-
the strap off and putting the strap in the case,
Uh-huh.
and then I took the guitar from you.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Yeah, sure."
And I took you to court for
And yeah,
damaging my guitar.
defamation. Yeah.
Defamation.
And I was like, "Was that the Chris
It was.
from Airspace?"
You were really
It
confused.
is I.
Yeah, I was like, "Why would he ask me to do that?" And I was
Sure,
like, "Was that a
available.
meme? You know, like, did he actually need help? Was he trying to get
I
play to
did-
the
I did
crowd a
need
little?" You know,
What does that even mean?
he's playing to the crowd after
Crowd
the show.
incorporation. Someone told me to
Yeah.
incorporate the crowd. I hope that's what they meant. Help them, or have them help me.
Joke's on you and then run out with your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you live and you learn. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Never again.
Sometimes you lose your cherry red guitar. And,
Yeah. Run from the Radio is at Caddy's show at the Fire Hall.
Stop burning.
Oh yeah, I
Stop
saw
rubbing
the
it in.
thing. I saw the
Yeah.
poster for that.
I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about the show.
We're gonna have the
How-
pictures coming out soon.
Cool.
There's a lot of cool second suitor, send request, run from the radio.
We've played with Send Request.
You
Send
have.
Request is a while ago.
Yeah, they were really
I
good.
like
Yeah,
that.
they were really good.
And
I
I
love
got
their
a-
merch.
I got a lighter
Got a
from
s-
Second Studio that
yeah.
you can't see probably.
White lighter, gutsy.
Nice.
Lizzie bought a flannel
Yeah.
with Second Suitor's logo on the back. It was pretty cool. They make all their own merch.
I was gonna say that seems like that would have to be.
Yeah,
handmade to
they
me.
have like their
It's
own
just like
press
one
and
dude.
stuff.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's like one. Yeah, the band is one guy, and then he just is whoever is available to play the show.
I don't
It's
think
like
that
a
was his
rotating
dream of
cast.
what the band is
No,
like, but I
Oh,
think
that's
not.
actually what it is?
Yeah.
I thought you were memeing. Wow.
No.
That's
Well,
interesting.
I mean, at this point, I guess I've had enough drummers and bassists. I mean, I've only had 2 bassists play with me, but I guess that's kind of the same thing. Luckily, I have, I think, the best lineup currently that I've had. 'Cause I
Really?
play with them,
Is
but
that
I've
just
had
because
multiple
they're
lineups.
gonna watch this, and
No, I mean
They're not gonna
and you don't want them to hear? Okay,
No, I mean that. My drummer Egan Miller, he is an absolute monster.
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah,
He rocked it at Live at 13
makes
for
it
sure.
look second nature, which I'm sure it is to him at that point.
Yeah.
And my good buddy John Nykum on bass, who was in a band that we played with as we were coming up as our first name, The Line of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
We played a lot of shows at Planet Trog, which is kind of
Gone.
close to here. Yeah, but used to be. Yeah.
it was a laser tag.
Yeah, now it's a.
I've
well, I
played.
think the laser
Have
tag's
you ever
still there.
played laser tag at Planet Trog?
Yeah, it was kind of boring. We just ended up like.
Do you know there's
Dude, I figured out an exploit immediately when I was playing.
what?
Where if you go on automatic, for some reason there's some drawback for like the laser guns. I don't know. I
Laser
forget what
guns?
it
They're
is.
real guns.
Yeah, they're real
too.
guns.
Have you guys seen that picture where it's like someone left a Yelp review on a laser tag place? And it's like me and 2 of my buddies went to a laser tag place, and we were there while a group of 12-year-olds were having a birthday party, and we asked them if they wanted to split up and do like some adults, some kids, and they're like, no, adults versus kids. We won 27,000 to negative 304. And the picture was them like, and they just absolutely destroyed the kids. And it was really funny.
They're actually like ex-Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
They go to laser tag and like,
It was getting
kids up.
So,
Get
so
some!
while that didn't happen, yes, we played Planet Trog. And so John was in a band called Every Friday.
What was your score?
I don't remember. I don't even
Sounds
remember
pretty
the
low
fake
to
name
me.
we used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Negative 300.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we played a few shows there. Our first show ever was at Planet Trog. So shout outs to Planet Trog, and the one time Aaron Carter had a show there and didn't show up apparently.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout outs
There's
to
a
Aaron
lot
Carter.
of bands that are like semi, like up there.
Yeah,
that I heard played at Planet
you can
Trog.
pack
I
a
was
lot
like,
of people in there.
what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
you can. It's like usually when like the local bands play, like it's just kind of the audience is kind of scattered. And there are a few
Mhm.
people up in front, but
people are playing laser tag. Very
yeah,
distracting.
well, it's a different complex. Luckily, I'm sure. Apparently they used to have it in the laser tag. but There's a lot
like
of
they had you
interference with the
a vest.
lasers.
Dude, that's a
and
sick
the-
soundtrack. You're like a live band. You get shot.
Yeah.
You fucking die.
You're like you're
set.
setting up your set and they're like,
Yeah.
here's your vest, and you're like, what?
I don't.
bulletproof.
It's just you're like buzzing in through your amp because there's interference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're shooting the Egypt and blowing it up. during the set.
Dude, I was to Planet Trog once, and I was laying on the floor halfway. So I was halfway behind a thing, so my chest was covered
A
by a
thing.
box.
You were head glitching.
I was head glitching in real life.
Yeah.
Well, instead of using automatic on the gun, I was just spamming the trigger because there was no drawback for that. Because I thought you were shooting semi-auto, which you are. So then some security guard asked me to stand up.
He held you a gun.
Yeah.
He's like, get up.
He wasn't
Don't make
even-
any sense.
He wasn't even wearing a vest.
He had no badge.
But,
Good times at Planet Trog.
Yeah.
man. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Planet Trog. It's out of business, right?
I think so.
I don't know. That's what I was saying.
This
I think the-
episode,
I think the laser tag
the laser.
portion is still.
Is it still?
I could be wrong.
think they
but I think
they definitely stopped doing shows there.
Yeah,
I know
that's for
that. Yeah. It's closed forever. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by
A
Planet
higher
Trog.
power tells us that it's closed.
Like
forever.
this episode of the podcast is in memoriam for Planet Trog.
Maybe
This
that's the
plays
problem.
sad music. Everything goes in black and
the
white. It's like-
birthplace of Airspace, technically. I guess.
Really?
Really?
That was our first show. I mean,
Really?
as the line of fire, but
Right.
yeah.
How long were you?
Who was in the line of fire?
All right.
It
Fine.
started. I'll give you some Airspace lore.
All right.
You guys use the word lore, and
Yes.
I love it
No,
because I use it
I
love
too.
lore, too.
And it's anyway.
No, I meant
How
like.
about, what's the meaning of the word lore? Let's get some lore. Let's,
Oh.
while you do
Airspace
that,
have a wiki page?
So,
Not
so
yet.
in being, I mean, did the line of
So-
fire, being in the line of fire, come from being at Planet Trog and
Yeah, that's
playing
true.
during the gunfire?
yeah.
And you guys were in the
I
line
can't
of
even
fire.
believe I never thought of that. That's a good point. What?
What do you think about this?
Somebody explain this.
You're breaking the continuity of the.
Anyway, I think so. The line of fire started out when I was a senior at Parkland. I went to Parkland for 1 year,
Wow! Congratulations.
and I met the drummer, the original drummer, and my best friend there, like the first week or so. And then my
was
best
fast.
friend and I, he was a guitarist, and he's a really fast and great guitarist. And so we were jamming or whatever. But then I met the drummer, and he was like, "Hey, you should be in our band." I was like, "Cool. Do you guys have another guitarist?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Well, I know somebody else." So we started a 4-piece, and we all liked and knew Metallica songs. So we started out playing a lot of Metallica songs.
Nice.
And we were actually the only band I've seen, maybe until like a year or so ago, that played Metallica songs with the accurate arrangement. Like I played the rhythm and sang lead. We had a lead guitarist and bass. Because usually, a lot of times you see like it's either like 5 people and one person singing, or the lead guitarist sings because they're like the far superior musician to the other people in the band or something like that. So, but
Instead, you were the best.
as far as
Yeah, right.
I mean, the most accurate.
Right.
That's like that's technically.
Do you want to go for the tribute band?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go for the tribute band.
Well.
no. So we were a cover band, but not a tribute band, I guess. But we never played a show without an original. Like we had one original at our first show.
Good.
That I don't play anymore, but it's on our SoundCloud actually.
Is it good?
I like to.
Is
think
that- is that
so. I mean,
fly?
yeah.
Dude,
Okay,
link
fine.
in bio. Fuck.
I
hit that SoundCloud.
I recorded that when I was like 17. You could probably tell.
Nice.
I've only listened to it once.
That's good.
I haven't heard it. I didn't know you guys had a SoundCloud.
SoundCloud exclusive.
I only listen to you guys on Spotify.
I mostly just
Thank
listen to
you.
it on Spotify.
all the
Get
time.
get that
Do you
less
know-
than 1,000.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
put?
Out of
I'll
there.
put Lizzie on blast really quick. The one night she got to my house and I saw that on Spotify she was listening to, like, on her drive home, she was listening to Airspace, your album.
Lizzie? Thanks.
But like I didn't tell her to, like, it's
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was
Well,
just
thank
doing
you.
that. She's like,
Most
yeah, I
of
just
the-
like it.
Most of the time when I'm editing your pictures, I'm listening to Airspace. I feel like that's just a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's I take that into account. Like the visuals, I try to
Right.
put
Yeah.
out there. I have a lot, are like usually with the music in mind. So
Because we just did a photo shoot with
yes,
you
we
did.
did
last
Fun,
week.
man.
Yeah,
It was
a lot
fun
of
AF.
We walked around a
It was
park
fun.
for like 4 hours and
Yeah.
took pictures every 15 feet.
It only felt like 3.5.
It's great
Yeah.
shots.
It was a
We
lot of
got
fun.
we had great
Good.
shots.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I think when we were done, we like did like 6.5 hours total of shooting.
Yeah.
7 hours total.
I wasn't even there the whole time.
It was
I had
pretty-
It was
almost
just-
1,500.
It was just that
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, did we break
There's a
1,000?
lot. Oh yeah,
yeah.
easily.
So we had-
Lizzie, how many pictures do you have?
3,600.
Oh my god.
That was 3,642 in case we didn't pick her up.
Yeah, I was aiming for 3,650. So if we could like kick that number up next
Well, like I
time.
said, I got 1,500. So,
Yeah. So wow.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
They're all deleted though. We
Yeah.
deleted.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was too much.
It's an important
It
part
was a
of
test.
the
It was a
creative
test.
process.
It was a test shoot.
Yeah, just this little test.
Yeah.
So Airspace,
Mhm.
I find you have a very big level of inspiration that's molded yourself as a musician
Mhm.
in
By
Airspace,
select
and
As a person.
and the aesthetic of Airspace and everything like that is
Mhm.
very methodically planned out,
Yeah.
very clearly.
Uh-huh.
And so what is kind of the elements that make up Airspace
well-
that has contributed to all of that?
Yeah, well, I think the most obvious thing is the color. I think
Mhm.
that has a lot to do. That's just
I have noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What color would that be, maybe?
Yeah.
What do you?
Blue, actually. I think I'm colorblind.
Wow, really?
It's black and blue.
Wait, you have to say blue for your solo career.
As you can see, it's black and blue.
If I was quicker, I would have just played red and white, but I don't
Yeah,
even have
it's-
Spotify up, so it
Right.
doesn't matter.
But we,
You're fired.
That's
but I mean, it kind of
Started my
started.
things.
It kind of loosely started in the Line of Fire, anyway.
Mhm.
I mean, not even loosely, because the Line of Fire had the red and white thing too. So I've just always been a big And the red, like the parallel to the white stripes, is a coincidence because if my favorite color was blue, I do blue and white. It just happens to be that my favorite color is red, and I think it's just like it's a cool color. I like it a lot. It stands out. But I've always been a big fan of colorful things, and even when I was younger, if there was a cartoon that was popular, if it wasn't like, I didn't realize until I was older, but I realized most of the cartoons I watched, the art style had to be like pretty colorful, like Dexter's Laboratory or like SpongeBob, obviously.
Dexter's Lab.
Even like Johnny Bravo was a really colorful show. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
So that was just a great show. But but I never got into like Invader Zim. Always turned me off because it was a little too dark visually. Like Billy and Mandy, that was another one. I was like a virgin. But anyway, that's a specific thing. But so color's been a big thing for me, and simplicity, I guess. I like hard lines and like usually if a band. I mean, I haven't seen any other local bands that do color, but if you see like a White Stripes tribute band or something, it's like sometimes that's actually a hard thing to try and get band members to get on. Get on board with, because I've played with people before where it's like here, I got some red shoes and it's like maroon, and I don't want to be like picky, but it's like so anyway. So that's like so that's something I take into account because it looks, I like the neatness of it too, like it looks organized, I guess, for lack of a better term.
The like methodical strictness of it is something I've actually grown to respect more and more.
Thanks.
And like something that's really cool is if I would explain this to somebody, they might think like, oh, that guy's like an egotistical musician and he wants like the red M&Ms in the dressing. But you do not have an ego at all. Like you've spent enough time with you to know that you're not just like a prick.
Thanks.
It's just like
Try.
Yeah, we don't think that. Yeah.
No, but like it's definitely
which is interesting.
Yeah, I've like made sure to keep that in check. Like anytime it's like that's why like my bass player and my drummer, like they don't really have any bright red clothes. I'm like, it's cool if you just wear like black jeans and a white shirt. It still fits the color scheme, so that's fine. So it's like and obviously in the beginning there are going to be some limitations because you can't afford everything to be the same color.
Yeah.
So I'll take it as far as I can with the limitations I'm restricted to, but or to which I'm restricted.
Right.
So yeah, it's like, but I think the biggest thing, honestly, the hardest part was the guitar. I think.
Yeah.
That I made I thought of the red thing. I thought of like the color scheme when I was like 16 or 17. Or I like decided to do it when I was 16 or 17. I was like, okay, what would be the hardest thing to do? And I was like, probably a guitar that I want that's like decent enough. So I saved up for it for like a year and I bought it on eBay. So. And then that was out of the way, and then everything
that
else
was
was
like your color red.
Yeah, that was the thing too. That was the only, like, it's a Gibson Les Paul. It's the only thing. It's the only model of a Les Paul that's red with white hardware and chrome hardware. Because usually a Les Paul, it's either like it's like a little too dark, like wine red, or if it is bright red, it has like gold hardware and like cream plastic. I guess that's again, it's very specific, but it was worth it.
I'm a big fan of the wine red, but it's not.
Yeah,
red.
I am too. Like there are definitely guitars that I love that don't fit the color scheme, but for this specific, this is like my favorite guitar that I wanted above any other guitar. But obviously there are other guitars that I would like be into playing and buying, but I just wouldn't play with this band. So yeah, it's I guess it was premeditated. I guess that's like the one thing that I try to strictly premeditate. Everything else I kind of just. Because I had a lot of limitations on myself when I was younger. I was like, when I write songs, I have such a specific amount or like set of criteria I want.
I was that way too. I think that's something you sort of grow out of once you eventually you just learn like if it sounds good, it's good, and that's all that really matters.
And because I even had it down to like, okay, this part play like down to the note almost like of each song. Like Red and White actually started as a song. I called it Go because I couldn't think of a title.
Nice.
And it started out as a slightly different song. Like the intro riff in that part was the same. The verse and the chorus were different though. So like, but then I had like a very like I wrote the solo note for note, and like which I kept because it worked anyway. But so it was like, but that after a while, as you're trying to be a more prolific songwriter, it gets very stressful on yourself. It's like I'm just creating barriers for myself. And there have been times where I just like think of something and then I write it down, or I get it down and then that's a song. Like Automatic Ultraviolet was like that. Like I had a deadline for originals because we were playing Croc Rock.
Deadlines can be good.
Deadlines
can be really good.
Yeah. And we and I had to come up with. We thought we were only like we found out like 3 days before that we were only allowed to play originals, and we only had 2 originals at the time. So I was like, oh god, I need to write 3 more songs now at least.
Jeez.
And 2 of the 3 were Automatic Ultraviolet and We're Not Alright. And
Which I really like, by the way.
thanks, man.
I like the whole
Yeah.
EP, honestly.
Yeah.
It rocks. It really does.
But yeah, so Automatic Ultraviolet just kind of happened. I don't know. It was like very quick. Even the
I think
lyrics.
that's my favorite. I
Kind of
like.
goes with the name.
Thanks, man. What?
Kind of goes with the name.
It's a good
how
name.
how it.
Oh yeah,
came to
that's
be
the thing
kinda
too.
fits with
That
the name.
I just like the name has nothing to do with the song. I just
Right.
like what's a cool name, and I just thought of that. I think, yeah. So like, a lot of times it's very natural, but other times there are like, a lot of times I'll have like an element of a song that I know I want to incorporate. Like there's a string part to think of or something, or a guitar part, or a vocal part. Like I want to put that in a song. So how can I either build a song around it, or I've had riffs over here and I've like writing a song and I'm like, oh, I can take from this and put this in the song. So I've done that before too. So it's like that's what like it's pretty consistent every time you hear like someone ask a musician like, what's your writing process? Like it's different every time. It's like something you can't really.
So there's
Control.
never a right answer. Of
So yeah, they just come out of it with a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
that's something. I mean, I don't do music as much as you do, but that's always been like a weird thing for me is like finding that process and
Yeah,
being
that's-
okay with it. Because I always feel like I do it wrong sometimes.
yeah, that's
you
the
know?
thing. That's
And it's like
But the most freeing thing is to not think of it as like
Yeah.
a set process. You know, if you have something like I have so many voice memos and like
Mm-hmm.
notes in my phone,
I do that
of
too.
either riffs or
I do
just
too.
just starting points. And
I think
and you
that's a great invention. I mean, I don't think that was as
I
common
don't do
of
that
a.
enough.
It,
Like I was playing something last night that I probably
Yeah.
should have done a voice memo.
I do that all the
'Cause
time.
I've
I
had
always
it-
like recorded
yeah,
things.
I've learned it the hard way because I'm like, oh, I'll remember it. It's really
Yeah.
good. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's just
Even if
gone.
it's like if it's a riff or like a melody, I'll just like hum it.
That's what
into
happened
a
to
voice
yeah, there's
memo.
so many who's like bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam.
Yeah, that's what happened to Tenacious
Jack
D.
Black.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah,
You play the best song in the world and you can't
true.
remember it.
that's true.
That's what
I remember
that's what
being-
tribute's about, right?
I remember I was in high school or even college, and I would think of like a really good beat, like for like an electronic song or something.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, I don't know musical notation first of all, so like, how do I write this?
Mhm.
Like, all I have is like a piece of paper because I'm in a class. How do I like write it down to where I'm gonna remember?
That's funny you mentioned that because I thought of the verse melody and stuff for Red and White.
Mhm.
I just sat down in like an econ class. I just sat down.
It was a satin econ class.
I just
It was
sat down
econ,
in
not
econ
English,
class,
so.
and I thought of it. I was like, oh my god. And so I had to sit there for an hour and not forget the song. And so then I rushed home and I recorded it. So I got it just in the nick of time. I
That's
guess.
why I got this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat's got a
The
notebook
meme
now.
notebook.
After
But it was a
like,
melody. Like I couldn't. I had to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
and I
Yeah,
had a
that
guitar
one's
part with it
harder.
too, and like it was a pretty chunky concept. I guess.
Yeah.
So I like had to go home and record it on my laptop. But I got it. So here we are.
And it sounds good.
Thanks, man.
I ended up doing like what the beats sounded like if I would hum them or like say them, and then I'd have like arrows denoting
Oh,
like if it was a
God.
higher or lower pitch, like as just
Wow.
it was.
I hope
Not
you. I
efficient.
hope you fully
Oh.
recorded the song. Like this is bad. I shouldn't have done this. It was the time.
I could like vaguely understand it when I got to the point of recording it.
Yeah, I used to.
No, it's you're,
'Cause I
you're
used
more
to-
cool than me. So
You're cool, Chandler. I think you're cool. You're
Um,
cool, dude.
no, so would you say that was the weirdest like experience you had in making a song? Or the
Tell
most
us about your
challenging?
process.
Yeah.
Like the most challenging.
Because there were
where
an
you were-
entire outline.
Pat
There's other
is so
Pat
mad right now.
Pat wants that writer's credit.
I do.
As if like we don't write all the shows
Yeah,
together every
yeah.
time or something. Jeez.
So you've been mentioning the white stripes a lot. You've
This
mentioned
one's for Pat.
That's for me.
this one goes out to Pat.
Wherever you are.
This one goes out to Pat. So you've been mentioning like a lot of influence.
Yeah, of course.
But what would you say is like your trifecta, the holy trinity of your influences as a musician?
It's kind of been expanding the lower tiers, but the big three for me.
Big three keys.
Yeah.
Killed my baby.
Yeah. The biggest one is the Killers. Killers are the reason I wanted to start making music.
Well, the other day, I think when we were doing the shoot, you said, man, I'm not sure what song it was. Was it just...
It probably either Mr. Brightside or when we were young.
What did
Yeah, I
say?
think it was that one. You said it was like the reason.
Oh
you
yeah, it was when you were young. Because I
That's a good one.
played music or wrote music.
'Cause that's-
After
like
that night, we went and ate at a diner at like midnight for some reason.
Yeah, we did.
And then afterwards, me and Chandler sang killer songs on the way back to Amress's house.
Screaming.
I'm glad.
Screaming. Oh yeah, Lizzie must have been really annoyed.
Yeah, I apologized to Lizzie after you left. I was like, I'm sorry you had to ride in the car with Pat and I singing like that the entire way home.
Yeah, they're definitely my favorite band of all time. They always will be. Their latest album's like been meh for me, but
Yeah. It doesn't change their old stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like the first, even Battleborn, there are definitely some songs on there that I adore. But the first 3 or 4 albums are just perfect in my mind. There are a couple songs here and there that I'm not a big fan of, but the other ones make up for it. Sam's Town, in my opinion, is a perfect album. That's my favorite album of all time. The second
I love
album.
the Abbey Road version of Sam's Town.
That is a great version. Yeah, it's on Sawdust. The album
Yeah.
after. Yeah, that's a great version. They also did When You Were Young in that session, but they never released it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a crime, dude. What are you doing? You're making smoke signals right now?
Zach figured out how to make smoke rings with the vape volcano.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
What does it mean, man?
What does it mean?
But,
So who's next? The Killers are Major,
Yeah, the White Stripes
the White
Number
Stripes.
2.
and Andrew WK.
Nice.
That's 3.
That's 3.
But then,
I get it. You know, you
Yeah.
say your influences and you go and listen to your album, and that shines through. So, like, not in a way that's too derivative, but it's like it reminds me of because I love those bands too, and. Well, I love, and I don't listen that much White Stripes, but I listen
You
to
make
a
fun
lot
of
of
me for
Killers
listening
and
to White
Andrew
Stripes.
WK. I do.
Here's
well, it's funny.
We've been leading up to this.
Yeah.
We've been leading up
Let's
to
slow
this
down
for
a
a
minute.
year now. All
Why
right.
can't I talk about music I like without you complaining about me talking about music
You've
I
been
like?
bringing up the White Stripes ever since the show started. Okay.
It's not even White Stripes.
And this
it's
is
literally
your
any band.
chance.
You're making a
And
making
the
a
Black
playlist.
Keys. It's either the White
No,
Stripes
we're
or the
making a
Black Keys
playlist.
or
I
just
mentioned
Jack
Made
White.
Violent in the chat. Let me read it
Oh
because
my
you put.
God.
I said I'd put it in the playlist.
No, yeah. What'd you say before that,
How's your day
Chandler?
going?
What did I say before that,
Should get one
Pat?
of those mics that come down.
Go
Let
on.
me try and find it, Chandler.
Pat's talked about the White Stripes since this show debuted.
Well,
Pretty
I've been,
much.
yeah.
It's
Or
because it's
since
like,
he debuted on the show, I should say. 'Cause you weren't in the first.
Nice,
the
dude.
first
Wicked
episode.
burn. Nice.
Pat came on in the second episode.
What an idiot.
We'll have been doing this show for a year next
Really?
month.
here we go.
September.
I said throw some Made Violent on the playlist too, and then you put in between asterisks anger averted.
That was to a different
That's
thing.
not
Yeah.
true.
That was to a different
not
thing.
true.
You don't know how to
I
read.
sent my message, then you sent yours.
That's
response
not
to mine.
No. We sent them at the same
If
time.
this goes on any longer, I'm gonna cut it. So I'm just letting you know.
We
Don't
just
waste
got-
We
your
didn't
breath.
resolve anything. I'm more mad now.
Are we still live on Insta right now?
Oh yeah.
You're a big fan of the White Stripes. You guys hit it
Let's
off.
start over
You
so there's
guys,
a clean cut.
you guys hit it off because of that.
Yeah.
But
That
it's,
was, we were made to be because
right.
we walked in our
I'm-
first meeting. You're like, who's the
Yeah.
Luigi hat guy? And that was me.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned the White Stripes. And you're like, oh my god.
because honestly, I have the Mario
Yeah.
version of that hat, and I didn't even know that existed until I went to New York like a month before we met.
Mario.
You've only
Yeah.
had that for.
I didn't know the hat existed because I've been looking for like a Mario hat or like a red hat, like a Pokemon
Yeah.
like red.
What's
hat.
your history and lore with Mario?
I'm sure Mario.
We'll
will.
get into that, but yeah. So I saw that and I was like, oh, God, here's the Luigi hat.
Yeah.
Because it's like
We bought it from the
exclusive
same
to the
store,
same.
yeah.
to
Really?
ones. That's the only place you can buy it. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So yeah, but anyway, as far
So
as the
we're
White Stripes
getting
go,
married next month.
yeah,
Did Mario steal your red?
it's the hat is a brighter red, believe it or not.
It is.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Really?
But I don't know if like general Mario red is brighter.
Like,
I don't know if it's F51111.
It's like
Like
attack.
general.
He's angry. He's an angry boy. No, but as far as the White Stripe goes, I'm not the perfect fan because my dad and I remember in like 2010 we recorded the documentary because we heard about the White Stripes, but never like
You guys filmed a documentary on the White Stripes?
we recorded it on a little known software called TiVo.
Ah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's hard editing an entire documentary in TiVo. Believe it. It's
Really?
pretty difficult. Yeah.
I used to record everything on VHS tapes. Because
Do you guys watch AVGN?
Yes.
You ever see how he said he used to edit videos?
No.
He said he would record on a VHS tape, and then if he wanted to cut, he would
No.
he would stop. He would film the VHS, cut, and then put that VHS in another TV, and then film that.
When did he start?
In like the 70s, like when he was a kid.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so we recorded it.
I used to record gameplay videos on a VHS tape for no reason, and no one ever saw
And
it.
then you upgraded from that to filming your TV screen with a camera.
Yeah.
Hey, Chugga Conner.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Chugga Conner, that's a throwback.
So we recorded it and we watched it, and I was like, it was like too raw.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it at first. I was like, what is it? What?
Yeah, no, it's
Like, this is bad. Because like the live show
You're
was
like,
so.
I hate the
like,
White Stripes.
We were like, this is ridiculous. This is so dumb.
It is weird.
And so then my dad, like, sort of like whatever, and we kind of discarded it. And then my dad was about to delete it like a couple weeks or like a week later, but then he watched it again, and then it clicked for him.
What?
He's like, this is brilliant.
Is it that? Is it like?
really
Is it
weird.
really like
It is,
that?
yeah. Honestly, it is.
It was like I was expecting.
I don't mean to sound pretentious, like you get it or you don't, but like you have to like be willing to.
It's like it's like a bunch of the footage is in black and white for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, most
And,
of
like,
the. I think the
yeah.
only thing is
The
one
live
where,
shows
like,
are-
I think the only footage. Well, there is some like red like footage of a show, but like the interview that he's doing with Ben in the background, we live in bed.
Yeah,
He's facing the other way. I don't know.
it was always weird.
Anyway,
There's
that's not
an
fucking
interview
right.
set up where they're interviewing Jack White about the tour and Meg White, and there's a dude sleeping in the background. It looks like he's sleeping in the background.
He's the one interviewing him.
He's the one interviewing.
I feel like that's
What?
happening on a poorly edited podcast.
Yeah, you can. It's Ben Blackwell, I believe.
Oh, he's the one. Oh, that's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah, I know. I
notice
didn't realize that until like 3 years later. Anyway,
It's,
so
it's
then
a
I
weird
watched it and I
documentary.
was like, oh my god. This
What is the
great.
name of this documentary for anyone who's
Under
interested
the
listening?
Great White Northern
Yeah,
Lights.
the White Stripes under Great White Northern Lights. It's fantastic.
Because I actually might go watch.
Because I didn't
You
watch
should.
it, and then you told me about it, and then I went and watched it
It's very,
like
very
2 days
good.
later or something. It was really cool.
You did, because you gave him a lot of shade for being a White Stripes fan that hasn't seen that documentary.
I don't say
You're
a
like,
lot
you
of
better.
shade.
You're like, dude, what the? You need to go watch that.
Also, I love how it starts because it starts with them doing something really weird where
Yeah.
they're like they play in 6 provinces.
Well, they
or
play in
whatever.
every province.
Yeah, they had shows playing in 6
Canada?
provinces, and they wanted to play in all 7. There's province and
Is
territory.
Jack White Canadian?
No,
No, but
He's
they
never
had like
been.
never been able to go to.
Oh, the
Canada.
Northern Line. Oh, okay.
But
They're from Detroit, so it's kind of.
Same
they-
thing. It's like the same thing.
So they planned a show to go and play one note in the last territory
And
province.
the first
or
one,
whatever.
that's how they kicked the tour off.
Yeah, the first one.
You mean because one of the provinces is like fucked.
No, they played a show there, or I don't know where
They
it
said,
was.
It's
they
not
said
very-
they played in every province and territory in Canada.
Yeah,
that's
but
what
isn't
it's
like one of the territories like just way too
No,
far
this one was
north
actually
for
not.
people to
No,
live?
no,
I think it's big enough that there's like civilization at the bottom.
I don't know.
Civilization.
no, but that wasn't even.
But they
No.
they played a one-note show. They had the
Yeah.
whole stage set up. And
Why?
He just
They
did the
showed
usual
up.
Do you
extras.
think
Yeah.
they sound checked to make sure everything sounded good, and then like, all right, now we can do it?
The mic wasn't on? If you remember, he like went to
Yeah.
talk to the mic and it wasn't on, so he had to like yell.
Why did they do that? Why didn't
So
they
they could
play a
just
show?
Why
so
not?
they could say they did
It was free.
a show
No
in
one
every
paid for it.
yeah
That's
every
fine.
province.
Yeah.
Oh, they filled like a venue?
No,
No, well, they did a
They-
couple shows in that tour where they like announced it the day of and it was free, and they did like one in like this little plaza. They did that one, and they announced it like the day of. They didn't even post it like online. They just I think they announced it on a radio show or like they told radio people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
always
the
like
radio people
yeah.
were like, guys, the White Church playing, and so it got around, and then the places were packed.
What was the note?
E.
I figured.
Why?
It was pretty funny too because they're like he's like. Yeah, I'm Jack White. This is the White Stripes, and they look at each other and they get ready and
He
they
does,
play
like,
it,
the
and then
bonk,
like
and then
really,
It's like
really
go-to
quickly, like they
power
hand
chord.
off the instruments, they walk to their car, and they drive away.
Yep.
That's so funny.
They didn't stick around or anything. They just did it and left. It was like
That's so
also all their roadies are wearing suits.
Yeah,
That's also really funny.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
So yeah, it's a great movie, but so it took me a while to get it though. Like,
Yeah.
and the rawness was not something that appealed to me originally because the Killers were such like their music's so like well crafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the Killers and like U2, which are very like
The Killers, I don't even know that much about the White Stripes, but it seems like the White Stripes and Jack White's approach to conducting himself and that band and that portrayal versus the Killers, like I find the Killers would probably be a lot more like pretty, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
whereas the White Stripes is very
The White
like,
Stripes is
what the
weird
fuck?
because they try to be genuine through being really staged
Mhm.
and everything's super premeditated, and that's how like they show that they're serious about it.
Yeah, there's something
Which is really
special about
weird.
it, yeah.
Well, as opposed to like most bands, it seems like they plan everything and then they like play a cool show.
Because they're
and
serious.
Like, yeah, and then they're like, this part's gonna be cool because we're doing this.
Right, but the
And that's
White
gonna-
Stripes are like,
Which is fine.
we're gonna do
that's
it
the thing.
because-
Like that's there's a place for that. I mean, there are more places for that than what the
But the White Stripes show up to do a one-note show with roadies that are wearing suits, and it's all really in a black and white
Which is very-
documentary, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here.
yeah.
And but yeah, you're definitely right. I think honestly, the biggest influence the White Stripes have had on me are like the demeanor. Almost.
I was gonna say that.
Because really, I feel like I become more of a White Stripes fan the more I know about Jack White, just 'cause he's so weird and refuses to do anything easily.
Yeah,
And there's some
that's
weird
something I
inspiration
didn't
there.
totally like commit to because that's just.
Is it
hard.
the kind of
He's
thing
insane.
where you?
I mean, obviously, I have my standards, like
Yeah.
when I'm recording and stuff. Like,
Is it the kind of thing where it's like even the music, like you like the music, but you like
Oh, yeah,
him
well-
more than the
Well,
music?
no, I love the
Almost.
music. I love the music.
Because the music's just
It's
a
not-
product of him doing his thing.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not my ideal music because I love. The reason I love the Killers is because that was the first
Right.
band that sounded so big.
Yeah.
I love like when a song sounds big.
They have such a presence.
Yeah.
Is what I always think
Mhm.
about when I think of the Killers.
And everything sounds so full and like just really heavy, but
Mhm.
really melodic and beautiful. So I think the White Stripes, obviously, it's a lot more bare bones than I would choose to record music, but I think the way they do it is amazing. I love it.
There's two of us. I'm gonna use instruments that go out of tune easily for
Yeah.
some reason. I'm
And
not.
they
gonna,
do. They do go out of
I'm
tune.
gonna take one pick with me on stage, and if I need another pick, it's gonna be off stage.
Yeah.
So I have to go run and get it, and everybody can see me mess up.
Yeah. And I think what was
Weird.
Oh, shit, what was I gonna say? Lost my train of thought.
What was it?
But I forget now. But so yeah, just the thing that initially drew me to the Killers was when I heard "When You Were Young." I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my god, this sounds like
Yeah.
everything is just perfect about this song. So that was a big draw for, and I realized that I know it sounds like cliche or pretentious almost, but like I didn't know that's the band I was looking for because I had like gone through phases of like bands that I didn't know I liked them because of the melodic nature of the way they were. Like when I was growing up, the first band I got into was Green Day, who have a lot of melodic songs, and I got into AC/DC, who are heavier but still pretty melodic if you think about it. And then other bands. I just went like song by song, but then I found the Killers, and I was like, this is it. This is the
Yeah.
one.
That was like the one that spoke
Mhm.
to you
Yep.
the most.
Cause so, you ever have that experience with like some new movie or something
Yeah.
where you sit there and like the only thing you're doing is absorbing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like, I'm not processing anything, just taking it in. I
Mhm.
felt that when I listened to
Yeah.
When You Were Young for the first time.
It was
It
fantastic.
was like,
And so yeah, I think and I don't want to, again, I don't want people to, my biggest thing with the way I do my music is I don't want people to think I want to be Jack White, or I'm like trying to emulate everything he does. I just, obviously I'm heavily inspired, but he was heavily inspired by his favorite music. It just wasn't as visually obvious because he did the color thing first, you know. Like I'm just as inspired by Led Zeppelin as he is, you know, like that kind of thing. So like the lower tier of my three, like Led Zeppelin, this band called Foxy Shazam that I adore.
I've heard of Foxy Shazam.
Yeah, they have their third album. It's just like it was the biggest. It was like Sam's Town was a big revelation for me. Then I Get Wet by HWK. Those were years apart, and then years later I found this Foxy Shazam's third album, and that was the next one. I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. The best song on that album is called "Oh Lord" by Foxy Shazam. So go check it out. Oh Lord. Anyway.
Is that the one that's like dun 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 dun, 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 or is that a different song?
no.
Because there's another song with the same name. I didn't know if that was the song.
Yeah, no.
Alright.
They,
different band.
It's like
It's in a Borderlands trailer. It's not in there.
yeah, no, they honestly didn't get much recognition on it. Unfortunately, they weren't very big. But that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to think I'm trying to be Jack White or whatever. I'm doing my own thing, you know, the way I
Yeah.
want to do. And I write songs that I want to hear, you know.
Yeah. So there's like,
So
I think a couple of your songs like reminded me of other music, but it was to a point where it's like, this kind of reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on it.
It's
Just 'cause it was like,
the way I've described it is being familiar, but
Yeah.
but new in a good way. Where it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
remember you
that.
saying that.
It's almost like, not exactly, but kind of like how people enjoy the feeling of nostalgia of
Mhm.
being like, there's something familiar about this,
Yeah.
but it is a new thing that I also like
It's
in
very
Star
odd.
Wars movies
Yeah,
or
Very
something.
odd
It
to
is.
try to
Yeah,
put your finger on.
It is.
I'm glad
And
that-
and like listening
Looks
to
like
it, there's a lot of influence that like I can hear that reminds me of you know, that I really dig.
Almost like-
But each song is like different in that
Yeah.
too. It's not like the entire album reminds me as one thing, but it's like each song will take me to a different place, you know.
It's almost like you've always been listening to this music,
Right.
even though you haven't been.
Yeah. Right, like the first
Strange.
time I heard it, I was like, this is familiar
Yeah.
somehow, you know, in a good way.
Well, it's like it's a house that's in a neighborhood that you're familiar with, but not you've never been to that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been to
Yeah,
another
yeah,
house.
yeah,
and not
yeah.
been to- I guess if I had to describe. But thanks, man. I'm glad that you guys feel that.
Yeah.
It's really
But
cool.
like it's
I've never
it
heard that
fits
before.
in, but it's still like Airspace. It's not like I'm not like this is him ripping off the White Stripes.
Right.
It's like it like calls me back to them, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Or just hearing more of a kind of what I would describe as more of a kind of classic rock or like hair metal kind of sound mixed with kind of the songwriting and progression almost of an Andrew WK song, you know, and like getting hit with that, I'm like, that sounds crazy,
Thanks,
you know,
man.
like
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. I've a couple like standout reasons that I wanted to write my music. Like there are so many times when I hear a song and the melody is great and like the production quality is great, but like there's something about like a certain part that could be like a lot fuller, or like the guitar tone could be more intense or something, and it could just push the song over the edge to be like an excellent song.
Yeah.
rather than, like even if it's a great song, I feel like there's sometimes I'll hear like an element of a song that could be like a little bit fuller or something. Like, and it's kind of frustrating. It's like holding a sneeze almost. Like you want it to be,
yeah,
or if it's like,
yeah,
there's a trend lately too with songs that like they sound like they're building up the whole time and then they just don't go anywhere and then it's over.
It's
You know what I'm talking about?
Do you have an example?
but there's so much
I like
potential.
A lot of indie music does it. I can't think of any specific songs, but a lot of indie
Yeah.
music like it's kind of it's like holding a sneeze. That's the best thing I can
yeah.
describe. It's like
So I do know what you're talking about. I was just like,
It's like they don't know
I
what they're
can't think
doing.
of
Like
one
they don't
that-
see what they're doing. Not
Yeah.
that they don't know what they're doing, but like
Yeah,
they
I
don't
mean-
realize that they're building up.
yeah,
and the
and
song
it's
just
like
ends, and
I
they're
always
wait,
it's like,
what?
and obviously I'm sure there's an element of not wanting to be predictable, but sometimes it's like it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for the throat and see what
because
happens.
sometimes the song kind of just writes itself almost.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like
you
how
can't fight it.
this is kind of weird and like random, but like in a lot of Stephen King books I read, there's always like a bunch of foreshadowing that happens, or he'll just like straight up tell you an event that's gonna happen later
Yeah.
on, and be like, "That's the last time he rode in that car," and I'm like, "You're kind of spoiling me right now, Steve."
Yeah.
But I think it's like,
God damn it, Steve.
It's a funny story. My parents, we used to live in Sarasota in Florida, and we went to this one beach that Stephen King has a house on. And my parents, we took like a boat to this beach, and we were like just getting our stuff to go sit on the beach, and we go over and we kind of like walk a little
do
closer.
you meet
because
Stephen King right now?
No, but listen. So we like, and so we walked around the corner, and he was like on the deck, like by his house, and he saw my parents, and he was like, and he like, and he ran because he didn't know if people would see him. And so my parents were always like, "Were you scared of Stephen King?"
That's pretty funny.
That's funny.
That's the
That's
thing.
a good thing.
That's the punchline.
They didn't
He's
even have to
scared
write a
of
book.
Yeah. So I wasn't there
Take that.
unfortunately, but that happened.
That's
So,
it's really
but anyway, but yeah. So and there's a funny conspiracy theory that Stephen King, like found all of the books unfinished and then he just slapped endings onto them. That's why a lot of people are upset. Or like because he's known for having like I've never read a Stephen King book, but
yeah.
apparently like the endings are kind of underwhelming. Is that?
I've never read
Is
a
that fair?
book, so
That
I
sounds
don't
like
know.
such an internet response
I
to
know.
all of his books having bad endings. Like, think for more
I
than
feel
2
like-
seconds. All right, like your
Well,
idea
that's
is
the
shit.
fun. That's the fun.
I mean,
possibility.
the best part of Stephen King's suspense. So once the suspense is over, it's like,
Mhm.
what do you do?
Well, that's the thing with endings is that it's hard to have a satisfying ending for
Yeah,
everyone.
because you
I was
build up
just
so
Obviously.
much. You can only do
Yes.
so
Yeah.
much.
Dude,
with
my little-
literature.
Like, what do you want?
It's always also like, I'm like, he wrote the rest of the book, and I enjoyed that. So he didn't ruin the book by ending
It's
it
a-
his way. He ruined, like, that's how the book is.
It's all about the journey, not the destination,
Yeah.
which is cliche, but it's like,
It's true.
what is the point?
Do you
Like,
know what really annoys
if
me?
you had a good time for the whole book and that was interesting, like the ending shouldn't make that not
Yeah,
a thing
right?
anymore. Like,
Dude, my little sister hasn't finished Harry Potter. She's in the 7th
That's
book, like
stupid.
30 pages from the end, and she's like, I don't want it to end. I'm like, what are you talking
That's
about?
dumb.
She's like, I know Lupin dies in the last 30 pages. I'm like, he still died. Nothing
Spoiler.
like it doesn't.
You
change.
not getting to it isn't gonna keep.
I know. That's what I'm like.
You have
You,
to-
you
you
just
have
said
to
you know
believe
it.
that.
You're not freezing time.
I did that with Cowboy
The
Bebop.
characters don't exist.
I like
don't
didn't
think Ruben
finish.
should have died.
I didn't finish the last few episodes because I was like, if I never finish it, it never ends.
But that's not how
so
that works.
You can watch it again.
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah, but then I've already seen it. I haven't finished it because I know I can always go back
Yeah.
and there'll always still be something there.
I do that. I guess I do that now with The Office. I don't even watch Goodbye Michael. I just restart it after the episode before Goodbye Michael.
That part is.
Because it just bums me out.
It
That's
is a
the
sad
saddest
episode.
shit I've
Wait,
heard
do you watch
all
Scott's
day.
Tots though?
Yeah,
That's literally.
Oh, I can't watch Scott's Tots, dude.
I love it. I love that episode.
Oh my god.
I'm
You
in
guys
the
know
middle of
Scott's
rewatching The Office for the first time in years.
I mean, I
Just got
don't
to
mean to
season
sound like a
4.
hipster, but I've watched it since it aired. Like I started watching like 2005 or 6.
I wish I had, because
old
I
were you?
would have.
How-
really
I was
liked
like,
it.
I was like 11 when I started watching.
Are you 40?
Did I remember? I remember.
I'm like what's his name? Jason
I'm Red and
Reynolds on
White,
Hannah
man.
Montana. And he was like 30 playing a 16-year-old.
Wait, who was?
Hannah Montana's brother. He was like 30 in the whole during the show.
I mean, that makes sense, but.
Yeah, getting them while they're young.
Some Hannah Montana lore.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Is
Appreciate
that
it.
lore?
What
It's
were we
not
just
canon.
talking about?
It's not canon.
It's not like in the canon. It's like adjacent to the canon. I don't know.
What were we just talking
Adjacent to
Check the wiki. Check the Hannah Montana wiki.
about? How long have we been going for?
about 47 minutes.
On-
Alright, I think it's time for some trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. We do have
Oh,
I
trivia.
don't want this
Pat
episode
wrote
to end. That's
physical
what I want.
trivia today
Physical trivia.
in his joke book.
Yeah.
My joke book.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
I
just a
guess the
good idea
transition.
book.
I'm in
Yeah.
the Nintendo. I guess we'll transition.
Nintendo
Yeah.
dogs.
I've never played Nintendo. Believe it or not. Thanks for. I'm saying I'm in Nintendo. Then the first game you shoot it, you like.
Yeah.
I've never played it.
I'm saying the question first, buddy. The first person to answer it gets the point. Ready?
So can I just answer it as quickly as I can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't read this one.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Can't read
Ready?
your handwriting.
Ready? Ready? Ready?
Kidding?
Yeah.
What did Nintendo make when they first started the
Hanafuda
company?
cards.
What?
Hanafuda cards.
What is that?
It's like a Japanese playing card in 1889.
A plane?
Like that, yeah.
1885?
We're gonna have a rough time.
It's like a play. It's like a Japanese.
I was an
card game.
Xbox kid, so I was just gonna go.
But then they made toys after that.
I knew
and
that.
Then video games. When video games became.
Chris has 1 point.
I'm confused. I still don't understand.
What?
It's like they made. It's like a.
They
I
make
guess
food.
like bicycle cards.
yeah, they make
The
playing
Japanese playing card games. They're called
Okay.
Hanafuda, and they made those cards. So it's just, that was the original Nintendo
Oh. Okay.
company.
All right.
Go ahead.
This is a bad sign if the
Yeah,
question was
it's
asked and
not
answered
good.
and Chandler's still confused
Yeah.
3 minutes later.
Yeah, it's not good.
Who played Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie?
Oh my god.
In the
I don't
movie.
know that.
In the
Oh
movie.
God, what's his name? Is his name Lou?
No.
Gary.
No, not Luigi.
Too soon.
Josh, do you know?
Wait, what's his
I
name?
Who's the Lou
Wait.
from Mambo number 4?
Is it? It's
Lou
a
Bega?
person
Yeah.
though.
It's a person.
Bega.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
'cause
it
it's the live action-
Danny DeVito?
No, I know.
What?
I know
Is
John
that-
Leguizamo plays Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dennis Hopper plays Bowser.
Yeah.
He wasn't Bowser at the time though. He
I'm
was
gonna be
King
mad because
Yeah.
I'm gonna know who it is.
He like this movie ruined his career. So that's why
I'm
he's
gonna
not
give you
famous.
20 more seconds. That's too long,
Wait,
but
wait,
it's
wait,
fun.
wait.
Dan Aykroyd?
No.
No, he's not
Belushi.
famous. Like he's
No,
not,
not famous.
This movie ruined him.
I definitely knew his name before
My
I knew
mom.
about this.
What's
What?
his name?
My mom.
Not famous.
I forget
You
his
ready?
name.
You guys done?
Yeah.
Josh, you wanna tell him?
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
I'm sorry, Josh. Do you is this man's acting career
This is entertaining.
and his body of work a joke to you? Is that
Yeah.
That's fucked up, Josh.
What game did Diddy Kong first appear in?
that's a good one?
Kong Jr.
That's not a game.
It is.
Is it? Okay.
Mhm.
What is it then?
Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, I knew that. That's one of the games I grew up on.
Damn it.
It's a great game.
I should have been on my.
Here's a hard one, but I don't know. Alright. What
Okay.
OS does the GameCube run on?
What was that?
What? Oh, I know.
What OS does
I
the
know.
GameCube run on? Should I give you like a 5-second penalty?
Sure, yeah. I'm gonna wait and see if they know.
Linux?
No.
Nope.
No.
It's like a special to Nintendo.
It's the name of the emulator too for the GameCube.
It's called
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
I'm gonna hit
I have the
anyway.
Dolphin emulator. It's rad.
I
It's
didn't
the
know that
best-
was the name.
Dolphin is the best
actually kinda makes
emulator
sense.
I've ever used.
I'm glad
ever.
you say that because when it came out, it was.
It was really bad. Yeah. But no, dude, the net play now and stuff, like
Yeah.
it's so
Net play's
tight
dope because I
up.
play Melee and apparently I mean I haven't done Net play that much really,
Yeah.
but there's a little lag, but it's not terrible.
It's I mean, the fact that that's even possible
Yeah.
is
Like
fucking
Melee
amazing.
Online.
You can
Yeah.
do it. There's SNES emulators that you can do net play with.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, ZSNES.
Can you do like
Well-
Secret of Mana or Mana or whatever online? Like
Yeah,
without
yeah.
The
people?
thing about
Really?
the thing about
No way.
Dolphin is it was also just the easiest fucking emulator to get running. Like you didn't have to add any BIOS or anything.
Like if you want to
manually.
play Super Mario World when we go home, we could do it. I'm not going to do it
You
because
could
I
play
have
it.
too much to do
Get
and I don't
some,
like
get
it.
on a. Yeah.
But one day we could do it.
we should do a gaming
like it.
video.
We
We should, man.
Like
We
that.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you like hop on a SNES live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox
Alright.
Live.
You ready?
Go on.
Ready for the next one?
Yep.
Sure.
What was the first game Mario was in?
Donkey Kong.
There we go. That got
What was
one.
it called?
Jumpman.
Yes.
Jumpman,
In that
Jumpman,
game, he was
Jump-
Jumpman, but his original name is Mr. Video. So you're right.
Was
You're
he ever,
correct.
was he ever introduced as Mr. Video?
I don't think so. I think that was like a concept.
What? This one's kind of hard. Even for Chris, maybe.
Okay.
How did Kirby get his name? Or where did Kirby's name come from?
I know.
Curb your enthusiasm.
Nope.
The lawyer that helped Nintendo during the King Kong Donkey Kong lawsuit was named something Kirby.
Jack
named
Kirby.
Jack Kirby. And that's where they.
That's
Why did they make it? So this guy saved their company.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they turned it
that
into
was-
a pink
we
alien
don't have
that
any
eats
money,
too
but
much.
Kirby's rad, man.
Kirby is rad. I like rad, but isn't that kind of an insult?
He's
back
the
then?
worst melee character. That's fun. That's not so
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad.
that's
true.
insulting.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, I can see it. All right. This one switches
Yeah,
things up.
question. I'm hyped.
This thing switch up a bit. It's actually like the last one, but it's gonna be like it's a whole thing.
Okay.
So you're gonna go around. You're just gonna name a Legend of Zelda
I
title,
don't want. I hate these ones.
Title.
and yeah, you get a
then
point.
Oh,
And
until someone can't think of one.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Cool.
it's gonna probably be very quick with these two.
Okay.
Do you guys want to start?
Let me get my reference list.
Well, how about this? How about? Okay, let's do this.
What?
We'll look up how many there are,
There's a bunch.
and if it's, how about they try and name as many as they can, and I have to match it with different games.
Wind Waker.
All right.
A Link to the Past.
All right.
Ocarina of Time.
Majora's Mask.
Breath of the Wild.
All right.
Skyward Sword. What were the ones for the Game Boy called? Those really weird ones. Do you remember?
You're at 1, 2, 3,
Uh,
4, 5, 6 right now.
What was the cap one? Was it Minish Cap? Is that what that's called? That's funny.
Majora's Mask 3DS.
I'm not gonna do
No,
that.
you can't do remakes.
I actually I gotta
Get
check
out
if
of
this
Was
list.
it like Link's Awakening was one of them, wasn't it?
That is one.
Probably.
Link to the Past.
And,
said that one already?
Minish Cap, I was waiting.
Minish
That's
Cap.
the-
Okay. So that does
Don't
count.
tell 'em.
No, I was right.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to give him.
So-
Legend of Zelda.
Oh, shut
Just
up,
Legend,
shut up.
Legend of
Shut up.
Zelda.
What was the one you asked if it existed? Link's Awakening?
yeah,
Okay, it does.
that's a thing.
Yeah,
I think
Link's
it was
How many?
Game
Wait,
Boy.
you're over 10, I think.
That's
Wait,
the
so you
first
said Link's
handheld
Awakening,
Zelda. Link's
Okay.
Awakening.
Didn't they have two also?
On the game with
Isn't
color.
just
that's
regular Legend of Zelda
Minish
again?
Cap.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
first one.
Alright, last one, guys.
You're fired.
Last one.
Okay.
I need one more from you.
One more.
Big Woody. Legend of Zelda Big Woodies.
Legend
Um,
of Ligma.
Ligma's up.
No, okay. Give me a second
wait.
here, people. Jeez.
Twilight Princess.
Oh,
Got
they're
it.
nice.
Fuck.
Is that 11?
That's 10.
That's the one I was
So
thinking.
I
We
have
should have
to- so
done
I have to get
before.
11 to win,
We
right?
could have,
Nine.
because that's an easy
So
one.
I
If you want to go for 11 to win, you
we-
have like 9
can-
more
wait,
points than they
so
do
wait.
regularly.
Can oh yeah, I forgot it's collected. Do the CDI ones count?
No, I don't think they do.
They're
Wait,
not on there? Are you sure?
They've got to be.
I feel like people don't want to acknowledge.
Isn't there
I
like
know.
just
When did
a-
those come out?
Isn't there
like
like
the
a Legend of
90s?
Zelda 2? There were
Shut
multiple
up.
ones
Shut
for
up.
the
Legend,
NES.
Legend of Zelda Red.
CDI is not on here.
Legend of
It's not on
Zelda
there?
X
Wait,
and Y.
that counts as a related title on this
Okay,
website.
so- okay.
I think I'm gonna
Zelda-
play
so
by
there's
the
Sun
rules.
and
So there are
Moon.
11 left.
See if
Okay.
you can do it.
Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Okay.
Um,
Another good one.
Oracle of Ages.
Alright.
Oracle of Seasons.
Those were
Yep.
the ones I was thinking of for the Game Boy Color.
Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, dude. I played
Ugh.
Spirit Tracks.
Phantom Hourglass.
Oh,
That was the other DS one.
It's too many. We named all the good ones, and even those weren't
Does
that
that
great.
does that like that
You're
Tingle
gonna
game
piss a
count?
lot of Legend
Is that
of
all
Zelda
that
fans off.
Tingle's like Jewel?
Oh no, we forgot a good one.
Tingle's
Ah.
Jewel is not on here.
That one?
Oh, I just gotta go through them canonically.
What's the lore
But
for
will
that?
he get it?
What's the lore for that?
Will he get the one
I will. I'm
that
just-
he should?
Okay, so what did I say? The one that I
The one is really hard, so I
It's
don't
not
think
that
I
you
hold you
should.
to
That's
that
easy.
one.
The one's really hard.
The one
Is it
very-
like a main
It's like a
series game?
Japan only title.
Oh, is it on like? Oh, is
I'll
it
be
on like
really
the
impressed.
Famicom disk system?
No.
Is it on like
Wait,
the?
Famicom.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh god,
Maybe. Wait,
this is good.
what's
This is quality
for?
content coming to you from.
Oh, you're excited, yes.
No, oh god, what's the one you're thinking of? That okay, let me just go through.
I wouldn't focus on that one because I don't know if that one
Okay,
exists.
so
Oh, it's
Legends
real, I
of Zelda
promise.
2, Link to the Past,
Zach's making
Link's
up a
Awakening.
game in his head.
Oracle Seasons Ages,
good,
Ocarina of
too.
Time, Majora's Mask,
Yeah.
It's open.
Wind Waker,
Yeah.
the DS ones that I already said,
You can do anything you want.
Twilight Princess,
Yeah.
Did we say that?
Skyward
I
Sword.
said Twilight
Yeah.
Princess.
Yeah. We just got.
A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking.
That's not what you're thinking?
That was a good one.
That's a great one, by the way.
Yeah.
I recommend. Couldn't put that game down.
That's actually really weird. You named the last like 5 games on here and then gave me the next one. So you actually went through in order.
Yeah, I know.
Perfectly.
I know.
It's like, yeah, I know.
I know.
Okay,
Not
so
even hard.
There's one between that one and.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay. How many do I have?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more.
Breath of the Wild.
Some people
So
are.
no remakes?
I'm
The one I'm
recounting these to
thinking
make sure
of
I
isn't a
don't
remake.
stupid.
What could it?
Some
I can give you
people
a
are-
hint.
No, don't.
Some people are listening to this and they know all of them. They're like,
It's Mr. Zelda.
it's Mr. Zelda and the Adventures of. Wait, is Zelda a grill? What if Zelda was a grill?
Nice meme, dude. That's a good one.
Wait a second. Breath of the Wild's on here for both Wii U and Switch.
Okay.
So that one doesn't count.
Okay. Well,
I
then
guess
Breath of the
'cause
Wild,
they
Wii U
released-
version.
They are no, they're two different games because of the hardware
That's true.
limitations.
They also released on the same day, so I,
I
guess
disagree.
it's
I
technically
played it
not,
on Wii U and it was flawless.
it's technically not a remake, I guess, because it was released on the same day.
It's graphically not that great. It
looks-
also
it looks exactly the same.
There's something else. It's the
Did you play it? Did you
graphics.
play it, Chandler? Did you play it?
I watched a comparison of it. I read a comparison.
I still think it looked
Oh,
beautiful.
it's just straight up 20 games.
Would you like your hint for the one you missed
No,
that I'm thinking of?
no, because
I wanna know
I'm
if
gonna have to kick myself.
no, we'll
Is
kick
it
you.
a, is it a handheld?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Wait. There's no Virtual Boy Zelda.
No, there isn't.
There should be.
Virtual Boy, dude.
Oracle Seasons. What was your hint?
How many people are at the table?
Mother. It's Four Swords Adventures.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I like played most of that too.
I'm trying to find. Okay.
I always forget that's like because that's such an obscure.
I haven't actually
game.
played it. I've heard
It's-
good
it's fun,
things.
yeah.
That Minish Cap. I haven't. I've hardly played the handheld
Yeah.
one. I should.
So you have one,
That's a
two,
fucking.
three,
I always think
four,
like I
five,
have every Zelda on GameCube. And maybe that's one of them.
All right, whatever. Chris still wins.
All right, whatever.
Chris is king of Nintendo.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever. He's not the king
What
of
was
Zelda.
the score? Yeah, dude. What was the score? What was the score?
A lot
He
to
had
not
4.
follow.
Zach had 1. You had 0.
Yeah.
You guys had 10 combined Zelda titles. He came up with 7 that no one's ever heard of. So I'm gonna give it to Chris.
Well, you can give it to who you want, but we're the king of Zelda.
That's subjective.
Yeah.
Can we get a recount? I demand a recount.
So what do I win? Do I win?
You win the snowball
Here's
microphone.
a
Do I win
green
my own?
crayon,
do
like
I win my own
Luigi.
segment with Lab 212?
Yeah.
Sure.
My own show.
Talk
Sure.
about whatever you
Sure,
want.
dude. Yep, for one whole minute.
Hour.
It's like, we'll leave. You can do your show. and
Every
we'll come
week.
back. Josh has to stay there, though.
Josh is gonna pass out because all the blood is like.
My legs have locked up.
Yeah.
Don't lock
Remember
your
what
knees,
they
dude.
say,
That's
lock
like
your
rule number
knees.
I
one.
actually can't move them forward either, though. I can move them forward a little bit because the camera trapped on.
Let's play that song quick.
Yeah.
So
That
Josh
works.
can be freed from his camera
What
prison.
song?
Okay.
No.
I was gonna do.
Wonderwall?
I was down to do 2 if you guys wanted to do 2.
Sure.
You guys,
What?
I was gonna do. Ask me to stay and making it out, which is not recorded.
Ooh.
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 Ex-
You guys heard it at the
Exclusive.
show.
I don't remember
I'm
it.
excited.
Do it.
Okay. Thanks, Zach. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You're welcome. This is an unrecorded song,
Yeah, it's,
right?
I guess since it's unrecorded, that makes it new. I guess I wrote it a while ago, but it's a newer song. It's newer than Ask Me to Stay, that's for sure. So anyway, the song's called "Making It Out." Hope you like it. I always say. next song is a single. It's called "Ask Me to Stay." It's one of my favorites. Alright, so and all my music that I do have recorded, this one and others are available, or is available everywhere music can be downloaded or streamed.
For Airspace and a red logo with the dude jumping on it.
Yeah.
And the words Airspace under it.
That's me.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah. I'll say it. Alright, so this song's called "Ask Me to Stay." Thank you.
Woo! That rocked.
Yes.
Desync.
I actually like, I'm not just like here with the group. I actually like this. Like this music.
Like the rest of us don't.
Yeah,
No,
everyone
like-
else is
She's
just,
on to us.
she's the
Scatter.
serious. All of us are pretending.
No, it's
Thank
just
you.
like I'm not just part of the company and be like, alright, as a friend, we all have to like this music. Like I actually just thought in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna add this to my playlist right now. Like Tidal. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna add this on my
I don't know
playlist.
if I think I'm on Tidal.
If you're not, we'll get you on
We
title.
can get you on
If
title.
not, that's literally what we're here for.
Okay, then DistroKid does titles. Yeah, I should be on it.
As long as you didn't uncheck.
I think I actually got like an email like it's been up for everything else like over a year now. But I got an email like 3 months ago saying you're now officially on title. I was like, oh, okay.
Dude, I made it. I'm on title.
Yeah.
Wait,
Jay-Z likes me.
didn't you change your Instagram and Twitter names?
Yeah, where can people find
Oh
you?
yeah. So
Yeah.
Instagram, it's airspace_band, and Twitter's the same thing. Just started Twitter, so get at me.
And Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, just airspace. You can just search it; it'll come up. If you can't find it for whatever reason, just search airspace band.
And red background, white dude jumping.
Everything's red and white.
And by white dude jumping, I mean
He's all white.
Right.
It's
Right.
a white silhouette.
no.
It's a white
Cut the
silhouette.
cameras.
white
Cut the
silhouette.
cameras.